Good morning. It is a Wednesday. How are you doing, you guys? Kirsten Liebelt here. How are you doing? It's Wednesday. Okay. Is everybody praying for everybody in Florida? I'm going to assume that we are. I'm going to assume that we are all like, I was on my stories this morning, just even talking about how, like, some of the amazing things that have been coming out of Helene. And, like, God is always working in the middle of all of this chaos. And yeah. So some really cool stories that were coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen like the picture or the video of them coming across like this little old lady in the mountains who she had heart surgery 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Well, I mean, from the video. And she had no food or water or electricity, and she was just making it on her own. And they came across her, and they gave her. It was, I think, it was Dr. Phil, and it was. I'm trying to think if he was with. I don't think he was with. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, I never watched Dr. Phil, but I just happened to see this. It was really cool. And he was talking about how they are delivering to her supplies and whatever, and hooking up Starlink and all that stuff for her. And anyway, just really good stories coming out, like people, it's the best of humanity helping each other in such crisis, anyway. So how are you doing? It is Wednesday. I don't know the date. That's okay. Maybe it's the 9th. I think it's the 9th of October. And tell me if you're on the replay and where you're coming in from. I would love to know. And good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you. It's again, it's like my heart this morning because I just know what's going on in Florida. So I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, help every single person. Let there be a lot of wisdom and just absolute miracles happening right after the other. Miracles, miracles, miracles. And all right, but today this is what I wanted to talk about. So are you ready to talk about constipation? I know it's a really exciting topic, right? But yet, isn't it interesting that for real, like the people that I'm talking to, like lately, most of it is because of like the gut primer and stuff. So those are a lot of the testimonies that are coming back. But when people have chronic constipation, number one, they feel horrible. And number two, it creates anxiety because then you're always concerned that you might be put into that pickle, so to speak, of like, what if I can't figure this out or whatever? Because sometimes it becomes dire straits, right? Well, did you know that there's a connection with insulin resistance? I know, right? There's like a connection with everything that everything is connected to insulin resistance, seemingly so. And so anyway, so I wanted to talk about that today and give you like some good morning, Linda. Oh, you're so welcome, Cheryl. What color did I send you? I forget. Carol, good morning. You set an alarm for this. I feel very honored. Thank you so much, Carol. You're amazing. I so appreciate that. Set an alarm just to watch this. Well, I'm not going to disappoint because we're going to talk about constipation. So there you go. But I want to give the pretty blue. Okay, good. I'm so glad. What was I going to say? I was just going to say something. Hold on. It's right there. It's right on the tip of my brain. I wanted to, never mind. Okay. It kind of flew away. So that's okay. But I really did want to, I want to give you, this is what it was. I want to give you some natural answers to be able to deal with this. Like, how can you better, like, it's always escaped me. Like, why are we going and buying over the counter when we could, like, put magnesium citrate into our life, something like that. Okay. So we'll talk about some of those things that you can do. But again, a connection with insulin resistance. So don't be so confused if you are insulin resistant. If you're on my content, you probably are, or you suspect that you are. And what you need to know about my entire journey is that I kind of stumbled upon answers. And then now I just bring those answers to you because nobody ever taught me anything. I never studied, like, I didn't even know the terminology insulin resistance existed. Like, all I knew was, good morning, Matt. I'm going to talk to you in just a second there, mister. Hold on. Got to get all the thoughts out of my brain first. I didn't even know that it existed. All I knew was that type 2 existed. My dad was type 2. He was, injecting insulin twice a day into his belly. I was Italian. There was a lot of type 2 in my family. Um, and I was basically told that it was genetic. That's all that I really knew. And I didn't have like a thought process beyond that. And so I lived my life very lackadaisically and disconnected from my body for years, hormonally and everything. I didn't even know insulin was a hormone. Like most people don't know all of these pieces, and they're very simple. And that's why I like to talk about this all the time, every day, because we have simple answers. This does not have to be mountainous. It is not a terminal diagnosis. This is reversible. So insulin resistance, though, is connected to constipation. And so I know that that's very frustrating. Secondarily, I know that there are a lot of people that are on injections that are causing worse in constipation, and they don't like that as a side effect. So for anybody who is on the injections and you are not appreciating that as a side effect, maybe this will help you too, just in terms of some natural responses to that situation. Okay, so insulin resistance and constipation, and what is the connection? So why and how it happens. Insulin resistance occurs when the body cells do not respond effectively to insulin, causing the pancreas to produce more insulin to regulate blood sugar. We talk about this all the time, right? This elevated insulin disrupts your various bodily functions, including your digestion. So having high insulin, not only can you not lose weight, you can't lose fat, like we talk about that. That's the weight connection. I am convinced that this is why you can't lose weight. It's because we're treating it as a calorie in, calorie out problem when it's actually a hormonal connection, and insulin is a hormone. Causing the pancreas to produce more insulin to regulate your blood sugar. This elevated insulin disrupts the bodily functions. And here is how it can lead to constipation. So number one, sluggish digestive system. Insulin resistance can slow down the movement of food through the digestive tract, reducing peristalsis, the muscle contractions that move waste and lead to constipation. Who knew that? I had no idea. Number two is an impact on hormones. Elevated insulin disrupts other hormones like glucagon, which aids in digestion and regular bowel movements. Low glucagon can further slow gut motility, making it harder to pass waste. Number three, inflammation. We do know the inflammation connection, right? Insulin resistance often triggers chronic low-grade inflammation, which can irritate the gut lining and affect its ability to absorb nutrients and eliminate waste efficiently. And that's a big frustration. There's a lot of you that have leaky gut. And I'm telling you, there is such a connection between leaky gut and insulin resistance. And then you're leaching nutrients. Very frustrating. And the last one, number four, imbalanced gut microbiome. Insulin resistance has been linked to gut dysbiosis, an imbalance of gut bacteria, which can exacerbate constipation by disrupting digestion and stool formation. Okay, so I'll just name those last four. I'll name those quickly for you. So insulin resistance occurs when your cells don't respond effectively to insulin. So basically what's happening then is your pancreas is thinking to itself, I must not be creating enough insulin. Let's go make more. So it releases more. And that high insulin is doing this. It's giving you a sluggish digestive system. It's having an impact on your hormones. Because elevated insulin disrupts other hormones like glucagon, which aids in digestion and regular bowel movements. It's causing inflammation, and it's causing an imbalanced gut. So this is all connected. Your liver, your stomach, your intestines, your pancreas, all of it is connected. Okay, so this system is kind of going off the rails a little bit. And that's why everything seems to be so connected. So how can you resolve this more naturally? Because that is what we want to do. So basically your dietary changes. And you guys, if you followed any of my content for any amount of time, you know that I teach basically whole food keto, not fad keto, not high fat keto, which was developed for epilepsy, but whole food keto that is high protein, moderate fat, and really low carbs. So very much like Maria Emmerich, where she's very much focused on, like if you were to do her free macro calculator, your protein would probably be over 100 grams of protein a day. And then you can go find that out for yourself. Fat would probably be, well, it depends on it depends on your own macros and so forth. But instead of it's inverted. Instead of high fat, low protein or moderate protein, it's high protein, moderate fat, and then really low carbs and like 20 to 30 or less a day. And this is the deal. Yesterday we talked about the association that helps people with type 2 diabetes that we don't think is telling us very good information. And they're telling you can have 150 carbs a day. That's a lie. They're lying to you. They will keep you medicated. But what is important to know is that you can do, like, if you were to do like 20 to 30 a day. So the number one change would be dietary changes, a low carb diet, getting your insulin resistance in check. Because when you turn back your insulin resistance, you're taking back your life. This is why I get so freaking excited when you guys send me the recipes that you're making. You tell me the mental victory that you just had. You tell me that you are stopping to self-sabotage. You are making strides, gaining ground to turn back your insulin resistance, because it'll help you to reverse all of the negative effects of insulin resistance that you probably didn't even know were effects. You probably didn't know. So, I mean, because who wakes up and thinks to themselves, I bet insulin resistance is connected to constipation? Yeah, that's probably true. We're not thinking that. We're living our life and we're thinking, wow, it sucks to get old. Is that not probably what we're thinking? Oh man, now I'm at that age, I got to go buy stool softeners or whatever it is. And so insulin resistance is affecting your sleep, your gut, your constipation, your literal everything. The obvious ones, the type 2, the gout, the PCOS, the fatty liver. But I mean, what about your mental mental state? What about depression? What about anxiety? Things like that. Yes. The answer is yes. It's all connected. So, magnesium, yes. Garlic, yes. Good morning, Brenda. Aw, thank you, Brenda. You're so sweet. Garlic helps to never have a problem again. That is a great natural conversation. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you. So, dietary changes. Let's talk about that. That's what we want to talk about in terms of really turning back that insulin resistance so you can make a difference. Number 2, hydration. I think that's super, like, we know this, but we probably need to really pay attention, especially as we go into the winter months where things are a little drier, etc. If you're dehydrated, it's hard to move impacted waste. And that's just, I mean, the answer is water, right? Coffee is very dehydrating. If you're already dehydrated, don't be adding coffee. I'm not against coffee. I'm just saying, like, that, just know things like that. Number 3, supplements like magnesium can be a gentle solution for both insulin resistance and constipation, as it helps relax muscles and support healthy bowel movements. Probiotics and digestive enzymes can also aid to your gut function and your regularity. So I take a magnesium citrate glycinate in the line that I have, where I talk to you about, like, for instance, I could totally tell you about digestive enzymes. I could send you a link for that. I could send you a link for the probiotics, but I don't have a good magnesium glycinate blend. The one that I get, you can get it off of Amazon. I don't have it in front of me, but basically it is a glycinate, citrate, and then there's another one in there, blend. The glycinate is very calming. Magnesium is a common deficiency, and it's very calming, and you can take it before bed, and it's very absorbable. So if you take the magnesium glycinate before you go to bed, you're going to get better sleep, actually, and it's going to help with a lot of things. The citrate that's in there, we want the citrate because that actually is the one that helps with constipation. So find yourself a good magnesium blend that you could be taking maybe at night before you go to bed. You love the one from Amazon that I get from Amazon. Hi, Suzette. Good to see you. Good to see you. Brand, and is it methylated? I don't think it needs to be methylated because it's magnesium. And the brand, I would have to go get that. Let me grab that for you guys. Hold on. Let me grab it, Cheryl. Methylation is really for My understanding is that methylation is really for like B vitamins, etc., because there are certain things that have to be. You have a good day too, Trinette. Oh, and today is Prime Day, Brenda. You're so smart. So this one is a hold. I get flags on TikTok, so TikTok, don't look because they're going to think I'm selling it, and I'm not. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. Take a screenshot if you can. I will read it to you. I will read it to you. And TikTok, I'm sorry. I will read it to you. But literally, they'll flag my account thinking that I'm trying to sell you something off of the shop because I think you can get this off the shop. I know you can. I've done it before. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but let me read it to you. This is from Meg Jenin, M-A-G, get a pen, M-A-G-G-E-N-I-N. It's a glycinate, citrate, taurate, L-theanine, that's an amino, and apigenin. That's what it says on there. It's white and purple. Glycinate, citrate, taurate, L-theanine, and apigenin. And it's white and purple. Okay. And you can, like I said, you can get it off of the shop on TikTok or you can get it on Amazon. Okay. So I highly recommend this one. I've been using this one since May. The reason I tried a couple of different blends. Trust me, the minute that my line comes out with something like this, I will let you know. Because it's hard. Okay. Because it's challenging for me. I've been connected to a line that does all of their own organic farming and they do third-party testing. You know, they are so third-party tested that NFL players can use the line. And that's a really big deal because when you are NSF certified, you are drug tested for everything when you are in the NFL. You can't just take whatever you want. You take what your coach says you can take or whatever. Like it's a really big deal. And so I've not taken other brands of stuff. I just haven't. And so when I had to go shopping, I had a magnesium glycinate in my line and I loved it so much. And they were tablets and they were fizzy tabs and I would take one every night before I went to bed. And they discontinued it because that form wasn't popular or something. I think they're in the works of making another one. So I started to try a couple of different magnesium blends and one of them was off a Thrive Market and I'm like, or I tried a couple magnesium glycinates. And I'm like, this isn't really exciting me, whatever. Well, when I happened upon this one, I went, oh, this is interesting. This is really doing something for me. So I've been taking it ever since. And one of the things that made me feel better about it is that it's made in the USA because I don't want anything from China. I don't want my supplements coming from China. I want made in the USA. I'm just going to tell you. Now, this is interesting. I'm looking at this and it actually has a QR code on here and it says transparency. I'm actually going to look that up when I get off of here. I'll be darned. I didn't know. So they must have like some information on the transparency of their supplements. So that's my brain. That's welcome Kirsten's brain. How I dissect things. I'm just telling you. So anyway, so a really good magnesium blend will serve you very well. Please send me the link for your site. So I am at work you cannot get on and you want to order the gut primer. Suzette, I will do that right when I get off. You found it, Cheryl. Good for you. Glycinate is for calm sleep. Yes, it is. You need the taurate. You're welcome, Cheryl. So which magnesium, if you don't have constipation, you know, if you do not have constipation, glycinate. Everybody should buy glycinate. It's very helpful for your blood sugars. It will calm you down and take it before bed. And I think she was probably answering that. So thank you. You guys are amazing. You guys help each other out. So anyway, magnesium is a very common deficiency, very common. And I'm just telling you, like, what a simple fix, you guys. They want you to think that all of your answers are in scripts. We just have some basic deficiencies. It's literally why the trio works. Those are the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity because we have basic deficiencies that we need to fill in. And we need to support the systems to actually work. Instead of trying to hack our body and force it to do something, we can actually take supplements to help support the systems. So magnesium is one of those. The next one would be exercise. Regular physical activity boosts insulin sensitivity, helps maintain digestive health by stimulating intestinal contractions. So exercise is very beneficial. So probably even just walking, right? We could just do a lot more walking and keep things moving. Stress management. This is a really big one. And this is where magnesium glycinate can come in also. And this particular blend, having that L-theanine in there, that's nice and can bring us down a couple notches. It makes us feel better because that amino is very helpful. But chronic stress exacerbates both insulin resistance and constipation. So are you stressed? Are you like a little bit of a nervous Nelly? Are you a little bit anxious? Do you know that you've kind of got your adrenals a little bit? Do you know that your cortisol is raised, right? So incorporating relaxation techniques or breathing exercises can relieve stress and improve digestive function. And then I would add to that also, anybody who, if you know my line and you've been grabbing things through me, you know that I highly, highly recommend the ashwagandha. Such a good, pure USDA certified organic ashwagandha. Phenomenal. I started taking that in May. That has completely transformed my sleep. Along with this, I was taking this in another product. I have to be careful. Taking that in another product, the sleep health. So if you need the sleep health, it's on my site. And I decided to, because I'm a tester. When they launch things, I test. That's my job. So I tested the ashwagandha and thinking, okay, well, I already take, one of the other adaptogenic herbs. I'm sure it'll be fine, but whatever. I was very amazed by how it feels like because ashwagandha will help with sleep, stress, and mood. Well, hello. Which one don't you need help with? And so my sleep got so much better. It was so much better. So I actually stopped doing the sleep health and I've been doing the magnesium and the ashwagandha. It doesn't make you feel tired, but it works on the systems that help you to sleep. And then there's this sense of well-being that comes from ashwagandha. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. That's just God's gift to us, our adaptogenic herbs. So basically the ways to resolve it naturally: dietary changes, very low carb, reverse that insulin resistance, drink a lot of water, and pay attention. If you're constipated, back off on the coffee because that's very dehydrating. And there are other things that could do that too. Supplements such as magnesium, and especially a magnesium citrate, will help with constipation, exercise, and then stress management. Okay. You've got to fix the stress management. There are ways to do it. Everything from, like ashwagandha to making sure that you're getting your sleep. Ashwagandha will also help you with cortisol. Okay. Over-the-counter prescription meds, they are problematic, and this is why. You have to just understand. So like Suzette was just asking me for the gut primer. I have a customer who she started the gut primer, and she said 2 days, but I always want to under promise and over deliver. So let's pretend it was even more than that. Let's pretend it was a week. She immediately was like, oh my stars. I stopped taking my over-the-counter. I think it was like Dulcolax or whatever it was. And she immediately went and bought another gut primer because for her, that caused anxiety to have the constipation that she's been having. There is another one that I just received from somebody who just constipated for years. So you can do things naturally and get off of some of these other pieces. And this is why you would potentially want to consider this, okay? So there's a disruption of your natural processes. This is number one. Many laxatives work by forcing the bowel to contract, but they can lead to dependency over time. This weakens your natural ability to having regular bowel movements, requiring stronger or more frequent doses to achieve the same effect. Number two, nutrient depletion. Please listen to these. Just consider, okay? Consider something natural. Some over-the-counter medications, particularly stimulants, can cause your body to lose essential electrolytes like potassium and sodium, leading to dehydration and an imbalance that further impacts gut health. Number three, masking the root cause. Medications only address the symptom, constipation, without tackling the underlying cause, insulin resistant, which is insulin resistance. As a result, the cycle of poor gut function and metabolic imbalance continues. So this is why we always have to keep talking about insulin resistance, insulin resistance, insulin resistance. How can we get you to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive? How can we back up that bus? Okay. Because then that's how you're going to turn back around the symptoms, the frustrations, etc. So the last one is gut microbiome disruption. Many prescription meds can disrupt the gut microbiome, further exacerbating insulin resistance and digestive problems, creating a negative feedback loop. So you're disrupting your natural processes, and so you potentially will need more over-the-counter med or whatever in order to achieve the results. Number two, there's a nutrient depletion, specifically in electrolytes. There are electrolytes that you can buy sugar-free. Please do not buy, sugar-filled electrolytes. There's one company that is LMNT, meaning if you say it fast, it's element, because that's an electrolyte. But LMNT, there's another company called Salt T, so it's SALTT. And there are others. I think I just saw that Lakanto, the sugar sweetener that we use, the monk fruit sweetener. If I'm not mistaken, Lakanto just came out with an electrolyte. I think I saw an ad for that. So there are sugar-free ones on the market, very beneficial if you feel like you need to redo your electrolytes, especially if you're keto, take electrolytes, make sure they're sugar-free. So nutrient depletion, especially electrolytes, masking the root cause, which is insulin resistance. So it's making you not deal with the root cause, and then it's messing up your gut. It's just many prescription meds can disrupt your gut. So over the counter or prescription, like this is what we're doing to ourselves all the time. And we are in this cycle, and it talks about it being a negative feedback loop, and that it just goes and goes and goes and goes. So, they're very sugar-free and low. You use Ultima. I've never heard of that one. There you go. That's interesting. I've never heard of that one before. Okay. So what happens when you move the impacted waste? Why do you care? Why do you care to stop being constipated? How does this affect your life? Well, you already know how it's negatively affecting your life, right? So what happens when we move impacted waste? We increase our energy, number one. Digestive stagnation can sap your energy. And removing waste allows your body to better absorb nutrients, leaving you feeling more energetic and focused. Number two, you can improve your mood. Constipation can make you feel irritable or stressed. Clearing waste can release physical and emotional tension, leading to an improved mood. Number three, enhanced metabolism. We all want an enhanced metabolism. Once the digestive tract is moving more efficiently, your metabolism often improves, which can lead to better weight management and more regular blood sugar levels. Number four, better sleep. When your digestive system is functioning optimally, it can improve sleep quality as your body isn't expending excess energy on dealing with digestive comfort. Number five, more control. When bowel movements become more regular, you regain control over digestive health with improved insulin sensitivity. You are also able to address root causes, opening up the possibility of more sustained health improvements. And by tackling insulin resistance, which is what we talk about all day, every day, naturally, you not only improve digestion, but you also address the metabolic imbalances that are contributing to overall health issues. Isn't that interesting? So I just know that this is a common thing for a lot of people. You found it, Carol. What did you find? See, I can tell. Oh, you're trying to find magnesium. Okay, and you found it. Okay, good. Sometimes I miss comments on there. It's my StreamYard, the way that it is. Make sure I'm not missing anything over here. Okay, so basically, I love that information. I love knowing that we have natural ways to deal with things that are super frustrating. Carol, you're so cute. And I don't know. It's amazing to me. So this is kind of how the story goes. So they launched the gut primer in August. We heard about it in June. So I heard about it and I knew it was going to be good. But I didn't understand a lot about it, etc. So they launch it in August and we start taking it, my husband and I, because that's what we do. We test things. And we were both really like wow, this is a very good product. Now, it's not a greens product. It looks like greens, but it's not. Greens product is literally just your greens. I have USDA certified organic greens sitting on my counter. Like, that's your greens that people think about when they put into a smoothie. A primer is something that goes in and primes your gut on many levels. So it's the prebiotics, it's the postbiotics. They are using alkaline spices, which is good for your oral health and they can make these claims. Oral health is benefited through the alkaline spices and your gut ecosystem being more alkaline instead of, acidic, etc. And I say that in connection to, remember when we did a live about the kidney stones? And a lot of kidney stones are developed because of acid in the urine. So you actually want to be able to not have the acid in the urine. I'm not making a claim there, but I'm making a mental connection to the things that we've been talking about. Alkaline spices, digestive enzymes. Do you know how many of us are just not digesting our food well? And so we're having heartburn. And it's just because we're not releasing the enzymes that we normally release from our pancreas because we're getting older, etc. And so we're not breaking down our proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So digestive enzymes, and then there's fiber from extracts of fruits and vegetables. And so this 6-piece blend is it's priming your gut like you would prime the walls of your home to paint, or you would prime your face to put on foundation. It's literally going in there and dealing with the inside of your gut, bringing down that inflammation and helping you to digest your food and doing all the good things. Well, I would have to say that the number one report back that I'm getting from people, number one, is the constipation is going away. I would say that the number two, which makes perfect sense that I'm receiving back from y'all, is the bloating is going away. Bloating is like being eliminated. The third one is probably no more indigestion. And I'm trying to think, the probably a match with the indigestion is people's sleep is getting so much better. So all of these things that it just said, it's the sleep, right? Now they very purposely did not put a probiotic in here. And the reason why, and most people probably don't even know this, we're so conditioned to think that we can just eat Activa yogurt and that's good enough for us. And that's a kind of a joke, in my opinion. I've never studied it. I haven't done a paper on it. I just think it's a joke. Like, that's not even close to what we need. I did a new customer consult 2 days ago with a lady who said, I need to know, like, the probiotic that you have. She goes, I need to know, is it only in the millions? Because my husband died of cancer. And when we were at the cancer centers, basically the nurse kind of went, oh, honey, what you're taking only has it in the millions. That's not what we're talking about. So she said, I need to know. I said, well, let's look it up together. And it's in the billions. And she's like, oh, okay then. So probiotics need to be high in active ingredients. They need to be able to survive the acid of the stomach. They are sensitive to, like, they knew that we were going to zhuzh, right? This thing, right? Froth up that gut primer. They were like, no, we don't want you to do that with a probiotic in there that is lending itself to less stability of the probiotic. And so the one that I take every day, I have 2 of them. If you have high cortisol, I have one specifically for stress. I was looking for my packet. I already took it. I take a powder one, and I just put it on my tongue, and it has 5 strains in it. But it literally has patented technology. One is stay alive in your gut, and one is stick to the gut. And you need to know those things, because whether or not you connect with me, that's okay. But you need to know to look for good things that will stay alive in your gut and that will actually do the job, because otherwise you're flushing money. And I know that there's a lot of resources being flushed out of people's homes just because maybe they're taking something from a mart or from a drugstore that's not even breaking down, or we're buying marketed foods that tell us that this is, this is good enough probiotic for you, et cetera, not for what we've done. It doesn't match the condition of our gut. It doesn't match. And so even if only you looked at it and said, well, because of my insulin resistance, I know that my gut is messed up, so I do need a better answer. Even if that's all you did, then you would pay attention a little bit better than that. Yeah, on the bloating, your belly just feels better. Oh, Carol, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. How are you taking your gut primer, Carol? I would like to know, because I'm just zhuzhing mine in cold water, but I'm going to tell you this. So you cannot heat a probiotic. Do not heat a probiotic. You're killing it. You have to have live cultures in your belly in order to get all that good bacteria back into your belly to offset everything else that's going on. So do not heat that. However, you can heat the gut primer because it doesn't have a probiotic in it. So you could turn it into a tea. I'm not a tea person. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm not a tea person. The only tea that I love, I send it out in samples to all my new customers. I thought I had a box here by me. I do. It's a ginger mint tea. Oh, I thought maybe I had a packet. No, I don't. Okay. A ginger mint tea. And it tastes like Christmas in a cup. And it's organic. USDA certified organic. That I like. I like if something is mint. So I was talking to my girlfriend last night and I said, okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing around with the primer and I'm going to heat it up. Maybe I'm going to even add do a tea bag in hot water of the ginger mint tea because I'm liking that a lot. And maybe I'll heat that and mix them together. And that would be a lovely winter. This is my thought process. A lovely winter answer because I'm in Minnesota. So we are going into colder weather. Like tomorrow's going to be 80. And then in a few days, it's going to be the high is going to be 48. Like we're just going to go, pew, 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 pew. This is how we go into winter. And I'm like, oh. And when that happens, you get this chill, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to play around with it just a little bit. Mary, it's my website. If you put in ginger mint tea, it's on my website and it's organic and it's phenomenal. It's so good. So you just put the primer in water and you drink it down. Then you put you're doing it exactly like me, Carol. Then you put the probiotic on your tongue and you're right. It tastes like cereal crumbles. Cereal crumbs. Isn't that weird? The probiotic tastes like the powder that you have at the end of a cereal bag. I don't know why it tastes like that, but that's just what came to my brain when I took it. So I'm doing the same thing. So apparently I don't care. Thank you for the follow, Melody. Very nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. I just this is me. This is my morning routine this morning. I put cold water from the fridge like this. I zhuzh up my gut primer. I'm not sipping it like anything because I'm not a tea person. It tastes like tea and it has the aftertaste of the ginger and a little bit of turmeric in there. Those are the alkaline spices. I actually add a collagen packet because I take collagen every day for my hair, skin, nails, joints, blah, blah, blah. I zhuzh that together and then I just down it. And then I take my little probiotic powder packet and I put it on my tongue. That's what I do. I'm probably going to play around with it because I am very curious. My girlfriend asked me last night, what if we figured out how to turn this into a chai tea thought process, like where you're using some of, like an unsweetened almond milk or an unsweetened coconut milk, and you're using like some extra spices. And like a chai tea has the cinnamon and the cardamom and etc. Right? Like what if we did something like that? And I thought, oh, well, that's an interesting concept. What if we really played around with this? So we might do that just so that I can give better recommendations to you guys. But for myself, I kind of don't care because I'm a functional person. If there was a personality test and the answer said functional, I would be functional. And so I don't know what that is about me, but tell me that I'm going to go for just a run, or I don't run. Okay, a walk. I'm just going to go walk just to walk. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't mean I won't do it. It just doesn't excite me. Tell me I'm going to go walk to the store to purchase something, to turn back around and come home. Now I have function. There was a purpose in what I did. And so that's just how I am. So I'm like, zhuzh, drink. That was the purpose. The purpose wasn't for me to relax. The purpose wasn't for me to take a moment and have a warm tea. The purpose wasn't for me to actually, enjoy it and care. The purpose was to fix my gut move along my impacted waist. And I'm going to tell you my own personal story happened this last weekend where we were at a conference. And so I've been to a lot of business conferences over my building of my online business, a lot of business conferences. I have traveled, like, we'd get on a bus and we'd go 12 hours, etc. This was about 11 hours, I think it was. And when you sit a lot, that's not really great for your digestive system, right? So that's why the exercise, the movement. And so there have been periods of time where, like a long time ago, I've talked to you guys about this before, where when I was doing business conferences and I would just eat anything that I wanted to, you're just going salty, sweet, salty, sweet, salty, sweet all the way there. Then by the time I'd get there, because I wasn't paying attention to my foods at this time, I would have swollen ankles. I would just be like, I'd be so freaking miserable. Like I'd be like, why did I do that to myself? And then I would go into the hotel. I would lay down on the bed on my back. I'd put my feet up against the wall and try somehow to get some of the fluid out of my ankles. Like I just had to feel good for a minute. Of course, it did not fix me for the rest of the weekend. And then I'd come home and then try to spend another week fixing it. Like it was really dumb. And I know that now. And so I eventually stopped doing that. So then I'm on my journey and I'm changing my foods out one at a time and I'm getting better and getting better. And now, fast forward, here I am. I go to a conference and I don't have any, like, it would be very unusual for me to have swelling in my feet and my legs. Maybe just a little bit, like if I'm too much salt or something like that, but not really. Okay. So I know that, whatever, but still I would have to be so mindful of my drinking of water. So that, because you don't want to be constipated at a business. You don't want to be constipated and sitting. It's just not fun, right? And so you've slowed down your digestion by sitting. Well, this time I've got my gut primer and I'm like, I will not be going without that because I'm going to see how this works. Well, I was shocked that, okay, so the constipation one, I already knew that was taken care of. I knew that it was going to help me. So I was going to take it for that reason. Like, I don't live a constipated life, but that's because I'm very intentional to not, because I have had constipated moments in my life and I did not like them. And I felt like there was this delicate balance of if I ate too much cheese or whatever, that I could like go over the edge. And so I always lived in this delicate balance. And then when you are constipated, and if you have any serious issues, it's very anxiety filling. So I've fixed that, especially like I make sure I'm taking my magnesium and all of these things. I do the things because I'm not going to live that way. Okay. Gut primer comes along. I'm like, OMG, this is next level. Perfect. This weekend, however, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, 4 nights in a row, I'm getting maybe 5 to 6 hours of sleep. And I am waking up and having energy. I am not waking up and feeling like I've been hit by a Mack truck. You know that feeling when you don't get enough sleep. Now, if you already live on 5 and 6 hours of sleep and that's normal for you and you feel good when you wake up, there are a handful, and probably only a handful, but there are a handful of people who can live that way. I wake up though after 5 hours of sleep and I'm like, oh, like it's just like you just don't feel good. You can feel it like between your eyes, etc. I never did. I never did. I never woke up and had to overcome that like state. And I was like, is this for real right now? Is this for real? And then throughout the day, I was not totally shot, like wasted, trashed. I wasn't doing that. And here I'll read what it says when it talks about how this can help you. Increased energy. So digestive stagnation can sap your energy, and removing waste allows your body to better absorb your nutrients, leaving you feeling more energetic and focused. Well, I am telling you what, that is the first time I've ever gone to a conference in all of these years, and I felt that way upon waking up after low sleep. Because that's just what it is. It's a working weekend, right? So you're busy. You're busy and you're just kind of go, go, go. And then you come home and you just kind of like get back into your routine again. Well, that was my testimony. So out of all those testimonies, that's what I'm finding out from people. So there you go. There you go. Yep, you too. What's that, Deb? Tell me. Good to see you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. You guys are so good to me on TikTok. Anyway, so that's what I have to say about that today. That's what I have to say. So I am starting to compile some of the testimonies from that. We are doing a gut reset in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. If you're already in the group, you already know we're doing that. We have a challenge starting next Monday. 5-day challenge. It's our 17th one. Join in. We're going to do ingredient trade outs. This is all about insulin resistance. This is all about going insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. That's exactly what I did. I went from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And hey, Florida boy, good to see you. Thank you for the likes. It's good to see you. I went from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, and I didn't start until my 40s. And I knew that I was insulin resistant in my 20s because my pregnancies were gestational diabetic and hypoglycemic. So I'm just telling you, like, it ain't over until it's over. You can turn this around. And so what I like to do in the challenges is teach ingredient trade outs because I'm Italian. I like to teach my pantry and my refrigerator. I like to teach a recipe and get you understanding supplementation. Okay. And that way you can actually start to change things literally from your internal systems on out. And that is huge. It is huge. Let's work on your insulin resistance at a cellular level. That's the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Let's help you with your gut so that you can be helping with nutrient absorption and sleep and energy and constipation, liver health, oral health. Like, there are a lot of benefits to taking an actual primer, not greens, an actual primer. And if you do not have a really good probiotic, go into winter with a good probiotic. This is all a thought process towards how you can do October, November, December completely differently than you've ever done it before, land on your feet in January, and have felt good the entire time you went through the holiday season. Because I know that this is a stinky season for a lot of people. That's why I teach mindset along with this, right? So in the group, we're doing the Self-Sabotage No More book every Monday night, because I know that this is the hardest thing to deal with. It's what we tell ourselves, or the things that we were led to believe as kids about food, or the emotional connection to food, or, it being a love language, etc. Right? So if we can begin to shift some of these pieces, golly, you guys, there was a moment that I thought I would never, ever, ever be able to go through a holiday without, this is a strong word, so I really don't mean it this strongly, but I don't know what else to say, without the torment of it, knowing that I was literally walking into a season of sabotage. That was for me, and it may not be for you, but I knew I was walking into, okay, well, here we go. We're just going to jump off the deep end. Let's have some fun. I mean, honestly, right? And there was a moment then that was equally as important, because I recognized it, but then the equally important was the year that I realized, OMG, I can do this completely differently. And I took my Maria Emmerich ingredient trade outs and I began to make different foods. And I didn't care if family members were going to laugh at me or make fun of me because I brought a keto dessert or because I made a keto gravy. I wasn't going to let people push me around anymore. That was my second revelation. And now I have just up-leveled and up-leveled and up-leveled since then. And what I mean by that is, now not only do I not do that, I don't let them get to me. I don't, number one, I choose not to self-sabotage. Number two, I choose not to let other people have influence on me as to what I'm cooking or how I'm feeding myself or others during the season. I don't let the food pushers be in my life. They have no voice. La, 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 la. That's my life. La, 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 la. I don't care, because you can't talk me out of how good I feel. Never going to happen. because how good I feel translates into me enjoying my grandbabies. So you can't move me. I'm immovable. And then the third thing that I did was I increased the way that I was supplementing and being mindful of that. And I say that because I know that living in Minnesota, and if you're in a northern state, and yes, that was exaggerated. I'm not from the movie Fargo. I'm just saying, I know that there is seasonal depression. I know that when the sun begins to go away, that you kind of are like, and maybe that's why we put up a little extra Christmas lights, right? Like we do a little extra, but we know January is coming. And so it's really not the snow and the inconvenience and the cold. It's the lack of sun for us in the northern states. It's like, so I began to pay more attention to the supplementation that I was doing, making sure that I was getting the vitamin D that I needed, making sure that I was never skipping a day, making sure that I was being very consistent with my adaptogenic herbs and with my targeted supplements for insulin resistance, making sure. And then now this year will be my first year. This is me, and you guys don't have to do this because you might be doing a 10-day gut reset. Stay on your program, stay on your thought process because you're trialing it. You can take a gut primer and get 3 10-day resets out of it to do for yourself because you need to be able to trial the product so you can tell for yourself. Perfect. Then we'll start in January 30-day. That's fine. Make sure you have a probiotic with it and do some 10-day gut resets for yourself. I'm personally going to just take it every day, and that's going to be my new addition for this year. Because even when you're keto, last year I ate way too much pumpkin roll. And if you're in my group, you know what I'm talking about. Every year I find recipes that I can make that I can have in my home for when people come over, or that I can bring to people's home if I'm invited to a party. So I usually have like one set piece of like dessert so that I always have those ingredients on hand. And I can make as many of them as I need as the season rolls out. Oh, I just got invited over here. Oh, just got invited to this last minute. Oh, whatever. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear my Minnesotan? That's literally the meme. It's literally the meme of how you're walking through a grocery store and we go, oh, so sorry. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I can hear it on myself. It's hysterical in my head. Welcome to my world. So having a staple that you've already predetermined that you're just going to make over and over and over again makes it so that you're never scrambling. So last year I made the pumpkin roll and I made it in the group, and then I made it many times. So I'm eating a lot of almond flour then. I'm eating a lot more sweetener than usual, etc. That's kind of not the way that I live all year long. So I'm eating more different ingredients. So this year I'm offsetting all of it with the gut primer. I'm going to make sure that I am on my game, and I'm going to keep my bloating down, and I will report back as to whether or not it really, like if this year my weight stalled like every other year because I'm eating too much almond flour. Because if your weight is stalling on keto, you guys, big fat tip, back off on your dairy and your nuts. Dairy and nuts, dairy and nuts, dairy and nuts. Those are the things that are keeping you from moving forward on a ketogenic diet. So hold on, I got to read. Carla, you'll catch on the replay. Perfect. Wanted to mention that you made the pumpkin flavored egg white bread and it is awesome. Oh, Carla, did you just use pumpkin spice and layer it? Matt says your friend that lives with me loves my accent. Matt, I'm going to talk to you right now. He keeps wanting you to say more words. You betcha. Yeah, you betcha. Okay, so Matt is my friend. He lives in Tennessee. He's on dialysis, and he's a young man. And he always says, thank you for sitting with me. And when he does dialysis. And so he had sent me, I don't have the other necklace, but he makes jewelry. And he sent me another batch of jewelry. And that is the sweetest thing ever, Matt. I thank you so much. Hold on. I think I made a mess. I don't want to make a mess. And I just am so grateful that you would even do that. And so here's one of them that he made me. I just got these in the mail yesterday. So I don't know if you guys can see these. Oh man, TikTok, you're going to think I'm selling something and I'm not. I'm not TikTok. See this? Isn't this pretty, you guys? Look at this. Isn't that fun? So he sent me this one. Then he sent me this one. He makes these, you guys. Aren't these beautiful? Look at that. Matt, you're so sweet. Share about the pumpkin egg white bread. Yes, Carol says help with the egg white bread. If you're there, Carla, and if you're not, that's okay. And then, oh man, see, this is where I got myself messed up. So he sent me 2 of these other necklaces. One of them is a cross, you guys. Hey, Matt, what is the stone that the cross is made out of? Because I'm a Christian, and so I will definitely wear that. Oh, I got these tangled, Matt. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop trying to untangle these, and I'm just going to show them to you like this, because that was my bad. But one of them is a cross. Look at this cross. Oops, there we go. Moss agate. It's beautiful. Look at this, you guys. Moss agate. That is so pretty. Do you have a store, Matt? Do you have an online store? And then he sent me this one. And is this an arrowhead? Is that what that is? And what does the arrowhead mean, Matt? And are you Native American? I think you're Native American. I know. Isn't that fun? And an obsidian arrowhead. I remember learning about rocks in like junior high. And I remember obsidian. I remember learning about that. Oh, pumpkin extract. Shut up. I didn't know you could buy that. Protection. The arrowhead means protection. And then the cross, obviously, I love that. Moss agate. Yeah, I'd love to know if you have a store. We can tell people about your store. You are Cherokee and Delaware Indian. That is fantastic. Is that how you learned to make jewelry? Like, was that a part of your upbringing? I would love to know. So anyway, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you so much. Look at how this actually, well, it looks more orange on for you, but this is actually hot pink. But I'm going to undo my cross and get my cross on. I love that. All right. So you guys, thank you so much for joining today. If you need anything, let me know. I know Suzette has already said she needs information on the gut primer. You can change things. You can. And listen, you don't have to, you can just take advantage of all of the free resources as well. So the group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. When you get in there, you'll get tagged in a free recipe PDF that has some pantry ideas. Next Monday, the 14th, I will go live 2 p.m. Central every day, Monday through Friday, and we'll do a live challenge, 5-day challenge. That's free. And that's our 17th one. And then I'm doing a lot of gut information inside of the group right now. The first 10 days of October, the first 10 days of November, the first 10 days of December, so that for people who are doing the gut reset and they're wanting to trial the gut primer, I'm convinced 100% that if you understand why you're doing something, you will maintain why you're doing it. Like, instead of just being told, here's the latest gimmick, or here's the latest, magical potion number 9. If you understand that fixing your gut can help you go to become more insulin sensitive, get better sleep, have better energy, absorb your nutrients, help your liver, help your oral health. If you can understand what the gut primer would do for you, you will be more like, okay, well, I actually do want my impacted waste to move along now. Like, you need to go away now. And having natural answers is a beautiful thing. I'm just telling you, like, God gave us answers, and we do not have to live with only the answers that were given from the matrix, which means over the counter or scripts that are messing ourselves up even further. Or if you need information on the trio that helps you to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, that's what I started over 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. And it has effectively supported me in now losing 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. So I am my own testimony. And I used to share locally long before I ever came online to talk to you guys. And now we're just this community of women. And then Matt is our male mascot around here. I do have guy clients. I do have guy customers, but they usually aren't on my lives because they probably didn't find me this way. I don't know how they found me. But anyway, probably their wives. But we have Matt. And so we're just this community of women who are taking back our bodies. We're advocating for ourselves, and we're saying we're not okay with your answers anymore that are harming us, the marketing and the lying. And so we're going to do things naturally. And you do have to shift the way you make your food, and you do have to shift the way you shop, and you do have to shift the way that you are allocating your resources, because they'll give you free trash all day long, or close to free. They will. And then they will make it more expensive for you to buy anything that is organic and clean. You know, the cheap food has all the chemicals and the bad stuff in it, and the good stuff is expensive, right? We've known this forever. So we do have to reallocate our resources, period, the end. We do have to stop sabotaging ourselves, you know, in the face of the addiction of the foods that they're giving us. We do have to say no and turn. But we can, you guys. And it was easier than I thought it was going to be. See you later, Cheryl. You're welcome, Linda. Wendy, have a great day. I started the gut primer and the probiotic too. Yay! I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear. So you guys have such an amazing day. You decided to do the primer every day, Carol says. Yep. Your great aunt is a medicine woman. Very interesting, Matt. Did not know that. Did not know that. Well, I just can't wait for all of your testimonies, because I just know that anybody who joins me in this venture over the holidays, I am convinced you're going to have a different holiday season. I really am. You can turn so many things around, and maybe it's just the year that you give yourself the gift. You give yourself permission to go on your own journey. And what did Mary call it? Oh man, I moved it. Basically a personal assessment journey, something like that. A self-awareness journey. And that's a gift that you give yourself. And I did it, and I'm so glad that I did. It's the best gift I ever gave myself. So Anna, you can, if you go to do you know how to get to my profile on TikTok? I'll tell you exactly how you can find it. Do you know how to get to my profile? While you're answering, yes, you do. Okay, so go to my profile, and there's a link there. And the link is my site. It's kirstenliebelt.com. Just one page. It's super simple. There's a button there. It says the 10-day gut reset, because what I am having people do is trial it by breaking it up into 3 10-day sessions. However, I have a feeling that most people will end up just taking it on a regular basis, because it's a beautiful thing. But point being, you can do 3 10-day resets if you want to. And you'll see in the cart, for anybody who goes there and checks it out, you'll see in the cart, you'll see 1 gut primer, and you will see 2 then probiotics. You don't need both. One is for stress, and one is more just comprehensive basic meaning 5 strains, which is like phenomenal. But my point being, I actually talked to my girlfriend last night. She said, well, I take the stress one month, and then the next month I take the balance. I just alternate the different probiotics. I thought, well, that was a really good idea. So, but you'll need 1. Take that all 30 days. Don't skimp on your probiotic. But if you want to try the gut reset and you want to get 3 resets out of it, there's a button right at the top. It says 10-day gut reset. There's a cart right there for you. So that's how you can do that. I always just tell people, make sure that you register with your name. Go to the top of the page, go to the person icon, register with your name, because then you can get free shipping over $139. And if you buy something that's under $139, you can get shipping for $4.99. So it's so much more doable if you're registered as a customer. Okay, do that. Register with your name. Do I take my magnesium just once a day? I do, Carol. I take 2 of them once a day at night before I go to bed with my ashwagandha. So that's what I do. I take 1 ashwagandha in the morning. So I already took mine for today. It does not make me tired, but it helps my sleep system. And then I'll take another one tonight with my magnesium, and I only take that once a day. And I feel like that's really helped. You're 50 in your scale, you're stuck. Yeah. So Anna, do you think you're insulin resistant? That's the ultimate question. Because if you think you're insulin resistant, then I can tell you exactly what to grab, because then you're talking about 2 different things. Well, it's all connected. You're welcome, Carol. You're welcome. Yep. Very, very good. Very good. So when you're insulin resistant, and I'll wrap up with this for you guys because I know everybody needs to go. So do I. Have a thing at 11:30. When you're insulin resistant, what's happening with your weight is this. Insulin is a hormone. So you're eating food. All food turns into glucose. Doesn't matter if it's a steak or if it's a Snicker bar. But your body only needs so much glucose for energy. It needs a very small amount to run the engine. But we are overwhelming it with fuel all the time. And your body releases insulin, your pancreas releases insulin to go and grab the glucose and shuttle it into your cells for energy. But when you've overwhelmed your system and you have high levels of now insulin in your body, it is a fat storing hormone. Well, when you have a fat storing hormone and excess glucose running rampant in your body, this is how you're gaining weight, and you're frustrated. And you have been told all of your life that it is a calorie in, calorie out problem. That is not true. Do calories play a part? Yes. Do we need to live in a calorie deficit? Yes. But that is not the main conversation. It's also not a get into the gym and exercise your rear end off doing cardio problem. It is a hormonal conversation. So I'm convinced that many women are sliding into their 40s just like I did. You're insulin resistant. You don't know it. Nobody's told you that insulin is a hormone and that when your insulin and or your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. And so you're on a hamster wheel and you're running, and you're frustrated, and you can't figure out why counting points doesn't work anymore. So what happens then is when you address insulin resistance, when you begin to take supplements that are targeted to help your cell become more sensitive, your cell opens the gates, allows insulin and glucose to get in for fuel so that it's not outside of the cell creating more fat. Because if it's outside of the cell, it's going to get stored. Inside of the cell, fuel. So you want to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And that's what I did. I started with targeted supplementation, which is the trio. You'll see that on my site also. 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And then I have been taking those, and it has completely supported me to lose 3 sizes in my 50s. And I always say after my cycle stop, because everybody understands that having a cycle or stopping a cycle is a hormonal conversation. So we have this inherent understanding that doing things in and around hormones is a little more tricky. But it's not if you deal with the main hormone that is making your life miserable. And that main hormone is insulin. Does that make sense? So yesterday or the day before, I did a new person consult. She is choosing to do both at the same time. Not everybody will choose that. That's okay. She's choosing to do the trio, the gut primer, and a probiotic. So she's choosing to do a gut reset and the trio at the same time. And again, not everybody will choose that. That's okay. And then later I talked about, okay, if you want to know what I talked about in my stories about a new product that burns fat, you can go to my stories and find out. I'm not ready to roll that out yet. Like that would take me too long right now. I don't have the time. But it's something that I tested. I had somebody test their sugars on, and it really is helping. I can't go into it. I'm like holding myself back. You can go look at my stories. You have so much to learn. You hate Met. They have you on. I'm sorry. I know. And you're on Zep, and it's okay to take. Yes. Because what you're doing is this. You are taking something to help your body work at a cellular level. You're opening up the hood of your vehicle, and you're putting in nutritional deficiencies. And you have to understand, if you back up the bus for 2 seconds, insulin resistance is causing leaky gut. Leaky gut is leaching nutrients. When you are nutrient deficient, your body can't function anymore. So think in terms of, like, even when I talk about the gut primer, think in terms of, if you're only talking about the nutritional deficiency piece, which is only one of many, think about that stop leak that you put into your gas tank. Is it the gas tank you put it into? Somebody can tell me that. You put the stop leak in and it stops the leaks. You have to stop what's leaking and leaching your nutrients, right? So yes, you're dealing with your engine by supplementing specifically like this. You're not dealing with the ZEP, I'm assuming, is something that is tapping on the door of your pancreas and telling your pancreas to make more insulin. Anybody home? Anybody home? We need more insulin out here. We need more insulin. And so you're tapping on your pancreas, and that is not a long-term solution, because after a while, your pancreas goes, I'm done. Like, you can't do it forever. And so that is actually the issue with then the regaining. That's another conversation. But in the meantime, you can learn how to fish. You can learn how to change the situation with your internal engine. And then you can learn how to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with. That's why I keep talking about the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. We're just cresting 5,000 women in there. And that's a place where I can teach you guys mindset. And I can also teach you food, because that was the most mountainous thing that I thought I was ever going to do, because I'm Italian. So we can fix it, and we can work on things from the inside out. Okay? You don't have to be on meds for the rest of your life. I'm not your doctor, but you do not have to be on meds the rest of your life that you don't like these side effects of. I'm just telling you. I literally am going to get off, but I have to tell you this testimony since you're here talking about those things. Monday afternoon, I get a text from one of my customers, and she says, will you take a phone call from me? And I said, well, of course. And so we set up a time and we talked Monday night. And she said, I just had to call you to say thank you. And she told me her story about how, like a year and a half ago, I think she was diagnosed with type 2. And she told me her A1C was at an 8. She worked with her doctor the beginning of this year, January. She got it down to a 6.9. And then in March, she finds my content and she starts on the trio. She starts watching the lives like this, where I'm talking about some mindset, talking about food, talking about learning how to fish, fixing your problem, all of the things, not self-sabotaging, etc. And she said she starts the trio at the end of March. 6 months later, 3 things have happened. The first thing is that she's off of 2 meds. One is MET, one is LIP. The second thing that happened is she lost 20 pounds. Because when your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. The third thing that happened was she recently, in the last 2 weeks, she broke her foot. And this is the biggest thing that happened to her. She did not self-sabotage. She chose her ingredient trade-outs to still make the foods that she wanted to eat, not living in deprivation land, knowing that she's going to have an emotional response because, right, if we get hurt, we get sick, we feel like we deserve to eat all of our comfort food. We call it comfort food for a reason. She just made it with better ingredients. And she didn't self-sabotage. So that's how I want people to view what I talk about. This is multi-layered, multi-beneficial. This is a comprehensive way to condense time, to compress time. What took me years to figure out, you can compress. So I hope that is helpful to you. Good morning, Anna. Afternoon. Good to see you, Anna. Thank you so much for jumping on. All right. I'll read and then I'm going to jump. You guys are amazing. I love chatting with you. Vicky says her blood sugars have been at 350 to 400 the last month and a half. They've never been that high. I fast for at least 12 hours. You're drinking a tea to try and help, and you don't want to go on meds. What would you recommend? Well, Vicky, I don't know if you're a supplementer at all. Oil. Matt, I think I missed one of your messages, Matt, because it's only saying oil. That's all I'm seeing. But that is exactly where I did not start with sugars like that. So I don't want you to think I'm saying that. You can start to take supplements and change the way your body's functioning, but I teach 2 things. You do supplements. Okay, perfect. So I teach 2 things and 2 things only. This is very simple. It's not easy to make changes in our mind or in our routine or our habits, but it's a simple concept. I teach targeted supplementation for insulin resistance. That's the trio. They are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's the trio. I talk about this literally every day because I know that this is how I can help people. So it'll help you go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. It's working on your inside system. I've literally done a master class on it, on these 3 little supplements. I'm going to do another master class this fall, like a live webinar talking about the trio and talking about the gut reset, because I just know that I know that I know what it can do for people. Anyway, so I talk about targeted supplementation, and then I talk about food ingredient trade outs. And there's a group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can search it on Facebook. I can see you're on Facebook. Perfect. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. When you get in there, you'll get tagged into a free recipe PDF pantry. And then there's a bunch of free content. So right now we're focusing on gut reset, gut health. Every day I'm posting something on that for the first 10 days of October. Then we're going to do a live free 5-day challenge starting next Monday, the 14th. And I'll go through ingredient trade outs and a recipe, and we'll talk about supplements and everything. So if you want to, some people are like, they want to get the trio ahead of time and they want that ready to go. That's fine. You can let me know. I'll get you a cart. Some people are like, I'm going to listen to your information. I want more information first. So some people are immediate and some people are, okay, hold on just a second. I got to piece this together. Doesn't matter. However you function best, just make sure that the decision that you're making is not sabotaging. And what I mean by that is I've had people say to me, oh, Maria, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I've had people say to me, I have been watching you for a year and I just bought the trio. Now, I'm grateful because I do actually pray that the Lord brings back to me the people that need to hear what I'm talking about. I do pray for my previous customers or people that are about to see my content today for the very first time. I do ask that God would put before me who I need to connect with, because I am so convinced that they are screwing us over. And I just want to give the matrix the finger. That's really what this is. And I am a Christian, and that's not a nice way to talk, but I'm telling you what, it just ticks me off the way that we are being manipulated. And then we are being made to think that we can live a certain way so that we're just on the edge of being sick all the time and continue to be medicated. So jump in the group, or message me in Messenger, because I'm available on Facebook Messenger. You can message me and go, hey, you know what? You were talking about this trio thingamajig. Will you send me a cart? I'd like to see what's in those. What are those 3 supplements that you're talking about? So I hope that helps answer you. Because supplementing just to supplement is different than targeting. So anyway, all right. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I'm going to jump and go to my meeting, or my little thing on my calendar here. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And today was constipation, and who knows what tomorrow is. I'm sure it's going to be riveting, whatever it is. Where's the name of the Facebook group? And yes, thank you. That does help. I will, when I get off of here, I will put the link there for you, Vicki, but for everybody else, it is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can search it. God bless you. Have a great day. So Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and jump in. You won't be sad. You won't be sorry. It's a very good group of women. So there you go. And I'll jump off and I'll get you that link. So see you later.